turn, took you to Cedar Falls. Maybe it's Kansas City, I don't know. But he just kept on rolling. It was too late to turn around. Ran out of road in Arizona. Do you remember what we talked about? I just remember your face, the prettiest thing that I had ever seen. Well, you left me in that depot, Gastonia, with your mother. What you still had left was self-respect. Well, at least you tried to tell me, but that's when I was drinking. I could not find words to win you back.
And good morning and welcome to another way too early morning Sunday show. Happy to have you along here. Most of you are wisely watching this later in the morning instead of waiting for this to come out, except for Greg. Greg, I know you need to learn to get some sleep, dude. You're always like first. Well, big news. And it's not about having a co-host. No, I don't have a co-host. The cat auditions still not going good. The cats are very uncommunicative. They tend to want to do what they want to do. They don't understand instructions whatsoever, and most just aren't plain friendly. And there's a lot of hair, so that's not going well. But I said the other, what was it, last week, the week before, my son Paul came up. He had a job interview up here, and he got it. He got it. And so they go, well, yeah, he can start in 2 weeks. So him and his wife, Michelle, are like packing up their house, which has like 4 bedrooms or whatever. I mean, yeah, and getting it thrown, and doing this within a 2-week time period. And coming up. So the whole family's going to be out. My mom's coming out this coming week with my sister. So she doesn't know my son's coming out here. So that'll be kind of a big surprise. So until, I guess, Paul and Michelle find a place, I'm going to have house guests. My mom's going to stay with my other son, Eric. They have 2 extra bedrooms. So her and my sister, Deb, can stay there. So yeah, a house guest. Now, when you're used to being by yourself for a very long time, it's good. It's nice to have people, but it's like, well, now what? I don't know. So, and, but we're excited, very excited, happy for them. We got a great job that he was looking for. It deals with kind of web design for commercial, learning how to push the product more into the commercial market, and whatever he does. So yeah, great for him. That's about it. Just work for me. Work. My son went on vacation. Eric went on vacation. Now I got like everything. I mean, seriously? Wow. All right. It hasn't burned down yet, so we're doing good there. But I think that's about it. What was the opening? The opening was, geez, I don't even know what I put in for an opening. I just keep taking snippets as we travel. It was Evergreen. The opening's in Evergreen, Colorado. And another old gold mine town. I mean, the buildings there were built in the 1850s. There, some of them, there's some newer ones, but they had the strip there, and they're, all the old big, the wooden walkways. That is pretty neat town. So, just one of our day trips. So, Evergreen, Colorado, and they did have an antique store. They did have records in the antique store. I didn't film it. The records, get this, just is like we have a choice, 2 prices, $20 or $49, 20 or 49. Maybe there was a few other things. It's just kind of regular stuff. I mean, not uncommon, but, oh, it's a big name thing. That's $49. It's an antique store. Yeah, it's an antique. It must be worth some more. It's like, are you nuts? I mean, it was just nuts. Like $49 for nothing that was nothing that made me go, wow. This is like, seriously, you want $49 for that? It obviously doesn't know Discogs or anything, but I'm sure people come by it. So people are idiots. Okay. But I got some records. So the first one, I went to my second record store in Colorado, and I'll have that film clip coming up here. I'm going to have to get to some more because now I haven't gone to any more stores. But in there, I found bootleg. And, they're releasing a lot of new bootlegs. This does not feel like a new bootleg. This is an older one. There's nothing to Discogs on it. I've tried searching it. I've tried going onto the internet on it. I can't find anything on it. This was done, the Velvet Underground, live at La Cave in Cleveland, Ohio in 1968. Michael from Cleveland, near Wild Heaven. Did you go to this? I know you were young, but maybe you were there. So, could be. So this is like you would expect from an earlier bootleg. It's not like the clearest sound quality you've ever had. The label's interesting. It is on a Brigand. EPI presents The Murder Mystery. So, yeah, isn't that neat? John Cale was gone, so Doug Yule was in there singing and playing. They do Sister Ray, Murder Mystery, and then Sister Ray again on side one. Yeah, you can never have too much of Sister Ray. Let's just do it twice. Well, they threw Murder Mystery. On side two, Waiting for the Man, Venus and Fur, Story of My Life, What Goes On. Yeah, I'm a sucker on Velvet Underground, okay? I got a lot of CD bootlegs that were sent to me on this group, and I just saw that and go, well, why not? So, again, it's not the greatest sound quality in the world, not in the least, but it was cool. So, Velvet Underground. Next album, from my great friend, one of my best friends, Jim Gleason, Radio Wasteland. We do that podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records, comes on Sunday night. Please subscribe to it and do whatever, or you don't have to subscribe. Just watch the damn thing. Yeah, we go on for an hour, but hell, I go on for a half hour. That's only a half hour longer than what I do, and we keep it at less than an hour. So you can handle me, you can handle that. Sure, we have a great time. But Jim, as many of you know, is the world's biggest Rush fan. I mean, if you cut him, he would bleed Rush. I don't know what that color that would look like, but it would bleed Rush. The blood would rush out. Maybe that's it. So he's been trying to convert me to Rush because I really get Geddy Lee's like scraping your fingernails on a chalkboard, which doesn't bother me really, but Geddy Lee does. But I'm getting better with it, and I know this album, and I used to have CD, but Jim gave me this, and it's one of these wonderful reissues that sound really, really good, and of course it's Permanent Waves. Had the hits, which I was very familiar with, Spirit of Radio and I Will Hit Free Will. Yeah, I actually know those songs. And then the rest, of course, I don't know. Again, I had it, but I never really played it a lot, primarily because Geddy Lee was singing. But I think I'm getting better. I think I am. I think Jim's starting to wear on me. He's just wearing me out on Rush. Jim, you're wearing me out, man. But I appreciate that very much. So we got an insert there with all the lyrics in case you want to sing along. So, this album, Permanent Waves, came out in 1980. It was their 7th studio album. And it had actually, the radio-friendly songs, Spirit of Radio and Free Will. And the critics liked it. Shocker. I mean, not all of them, but actually it got good ratings. Big shock for Rush. Okay, they've been through a lot. It went to number 4 in the U.S. I think it was their best, their best charting album to date at that time. There are the proggy Jacob's Ladder and Natural Science. Natural Science goes on for 9 minutes. I'm going to play you a sample of that, though. I could have done the radio hits, but I says, no, I'm going to give those of you that want your prog, I'm giving it to you. So that's why. They had just completed a tour, 8-month tour, and they were worn out, so they took 6 weeks off. And then they get back into the studio and they just start recording. They just turned it on and they had this very long tape, and they called this tape a giant hodgepodge of instrumental mishmash. A giant hodgepodge of instrumental mishmash. That's what they named it. From there, they began taking snippets of things, grabbing things that they liked from this giant hodgepodge of instrumental mishmash. From that came Spirit, came Free Will, came Jacob's Ladder, and they all came out within several days. So, they were really moving along. But then, who was gosh darn, they had writer's block, and hold on, see. No, they don't got the names. Sorry, Jim. I don't even know all their names that well. The drummer who did all the lyrics. That guy. He had writer's block and didn't know what to do. It took like 3 days, but he broke through it and he came up with Natural Science. So that's how that. This is a picture on here, except for, she was on that Exit Third Stage, whatever the name of that album was, same model. But this is actually from Hurricane from 1961, Hurricane Carla down in Texas. Just some fun stuff. So, yeah, I like the album. I did. Am I a Rush fan? I am not. But Jim has given me a few, and I've liked them. Now, he's been nice enough to give me more of their commercially accessible stuff, understanding how I am. I would be interested in trying the first Rush album, as I heard that's much more rocking, and maybe Lee's vocals are a little lower. I don't know. So, but thank you, Jim, very much. This is a great album, very enjoyable. Rush, Permanent Waves. Record Store Day album that I had purchased, Gandalf. And for those the psych people out there, to get an original one of these would be like the greatest thing in the world. You would be so excited if you went to a antique store or a little garage sale, and there it was. They had an original, and it's out there for like $1 or something. If it was out there for $100, you'd be excited because it's a hell of a thing. That's called lemongrass. Lemongrass. Just want you to know that's. If you've been saying, what color is lemongrass? Well, now you know. I don't know if that's true. We got stuff about the band, which I probably should have read beforehand, instead of talking about it, not having read it, but, well, screw it. Okay, so Gandalf, this album came out in 1968. It's kind of Baroque psychedelic with a real kind of a spacey air about it. Really spacey. Very much Baroque psych. I'm not a huge fan of Baroque psych. I did enjoy this album. Because I really was excited about getting this. I was totally thrilled when I saw this was coming on. And it's okay. It's like, okay, all right, yeah, that's not bad. But, I was not ready for the Baroque part of the whole thing. But That's fine. What's kind of weird is they cover on this. It's a lot of covers. And these covers are from the crooners from the 40s and 50s. They do Nat King Cole's Nature Boy. They do like Golden Earrings. I mean, it's a lot of these old crooner songs that they put on their own kind of baroque psych stuff. There is a couple of originals on here. One of them was Can You Travel in the Dark Alone? Which actually kind of have a sunshine pop type feel, which was a nice change of pace. This band had formed in '65 in New York, I believe up in Rochester, possibly, and they'd had only one album. Then this was it, and they broke up in '69. So this album came out in '68. By '69, they were done. They were originally called the Ragoos. Ragoo. I mean, fun to say. Hey, who are you? We're the Ragoos. Do that all day long. Just start going up here. Ragoo. They may wonder, but it's okay. So Capitol signed these guys, and they go, dude, or hey man, your name no good. Ragoo can't be it. But we got an idea. Knock Rockers. Yeah, let's do Knock Rockers. So Capitol's pushing. You guys need to be Knock Rockers, which is worse than Ragoo. So they decided, no, we're not doing that. They decided to call themselves Gandalf and the Wizards, because everyone was in the Tolkien thing, right? So, Gandalf and the Wizards, and it wound up becoming Gandalf. Capitol hated this album, detested it. I mean, they pretty much puked on it. This is probably vomit. And it just went from bad to worse because when they released it, they put the wrong record in the sleeve. So this goes out, people are buying it. It's a different record in the sleeve, so they're returning them all. I mean, this group, it destroyed them. They wound up breaking up. I mean, it was no good. If it could go wrong, it went wrong for these guys. But it's moody melodic psych. And you can still find these out there. I mean, I had recently seen it at that, the record store tour I did on Thursday. They had Gandalf there. So, not bad. I mean, if you like quieter psych with that Baroque feel, you're going to like it. I kind of like mine a little bit harder.
That's enough to very few.
Okay. Next one. We have Broadcast. Thanks to Dom from Seeking a Thread, he did a spotlight on Broadcast. Never heard of this group. Out of Birmingham, formed in '95, broke up in '13. But Dom, channel Seeking a Thread, I mean, the guy knows his stuff. He's in a band, he works in a record store, and he has all the credentials, unlike me, who works in a pool cleaning service. That's my credentials, I guess. But he this came out, and he was talking about this group, and it is a duo. We got an inner sleeve here. In case you were wondering what that was, it is called an inner sleeve. I like to explain things to help you out. And as far as labels or anything, nothing much there. So this is called Tender Buttons, and for whatever reason, this is actually backwards, but when I show it to you now, it's forwards. And then this is forwards, but now it's backwards. And that's kind of cool looking as I'm looking in this phone. Okay, psych pop, electronic, space age, pop, you could call it. I heard it described as hauntology. Hauntology. I have no idea. No idea. Hauntology. Is it the study of haunting? Is the music haunting? Maybe so. But it's made up of Trish Keenan and James Cargill. They're the duo. And Keenan was in this folk duo called Hayward Winters. Kind of a sucky name. But she met Cargill in 95, and they decided to form a group together. And they called themselves Pan Am Flight Bag. How's that for random? Pan Am Flight Bag. You know what happened. They were just walking, trying to think of a name, and then they saw it. Well, there's a Pan Am Flight Bag. That's our name of our group. Well, luckily they changed it to, they renamed it Broadcast. This is their third album. Tender Buttons came out in 2005. I don't know anything about their other albums, but from what Dom has said when he was talking, what I read, they really stripped back their sound. In fact, at times it can almost sound unfinished. Very electronical. Lots of electronic beeps and blips and stuff like that, because there's only two people really playing on here. One of the songs, You, Me, and... Well, here's the other weird thing. So they have the different sides on here, side one, side two, but I don't know. I found this cover kind of confusing, quite honestly. I'm too old for this crap. But there was the song "You, Me, in Time." It has like a Julie Cruz type torch pop feel to it. Really neat. This album is filled with these very subtle guitars and very hazy synthesizers are happening. Arc of a Journey, it had a very had a fuller sound, but most everything's much more stripped down. The vocals are beautiful. Lyrics are a little obtuse, kind of scattered about, but she sounds great. And I like the samples that Dom, again, power of samples. He played some samples, and he convinced me I needed to have this. Dom does that periodically. So, Broadcast, Tender Buttons. Again, they broke up in 2013, so don't wait around for a concert. Then we go to, my burger's coming out. Stay, boy. Reissue Ben Folds 5. And I can't say I love Ben Folds, but some of his albums I adore. And some of them I thought were kind of, you could say that for a lot of groups, I guess. But Ben Folds 5, formed in 93, broke up in 2000, and actually they got together, I think, around 2013 and produced another album. Otherwise, Ben Folds was going solo. And, it's a trio, piano, bass, and drums. So you say, well, if it's a trio, why is it called Ben Folds 5? The reasoning is, Ben Folds 5 sounded much better than Ben Folds 3. That's what they said. Also, Ben Folds himself describes this music as punk rock for sissies. Okay, so there you have it. They did produce 3 albums in the 90s. This was their second one. And they also did a lot of soundtrack work. That was a big part of what, especially Ben Folds, liked to do. So, but this is their second one. Whatever and Ever, Amen came out. And this is just packed with hooks. It's very hook-laden, kind of a Todd Rundgren type piano-driven pop music. I mean, it's filled with earworm, ear candy type songs that will just stick in your head. But it's also really filled with a lot of ballads, which I think there's a few too many ballads, but oh well. The very first song, One Angry Dwarf and 200 Solemn Faces. I'm going to play you a sample of that. And that was a song about his song of revenge of the kids that bullied him growing up. So it's kind of now that, you know what, look at me. I got the nice car. I got all this. I'm on TV and you're not. So there, suck it. That's what it's about. I mean, Some of the lyrics on here are very funny. Some of it's very deep. And, Ben Folds is like that. He really knows how to make a funny song. You have the song called Fair. Now, get this song. So, Fair is the tale of a couple bickering. And they're upset and they're bickering. But they finally make amends. And they find a way, okay, we still do love each other. And so they go out, after making amends, they go out for this walk. And then the husband is accidentally thrown into traffic by the wife. All right. I mean, I haven't had a song like that one. Now, accidentally thrown into the traffic by the wife after bickering, supposedly made up. You make your own decisions on that one. I was like, really? Wow. Their hits Brick is on here. Brick is such a powerful song. I mean, it's about the moral dilemma of an unplanned pregnancy. Not expecting this, suddenly you're going to have a baby, and what do we do? Do we keep it? Do we not keep it? Can we handle this? Can we not? And I mean, very deep song, very well written. And so you're saying, well, I thought you said some songs are funny. Well, you do have like Steve's Last Night in Town. I thought, what a great title, Steve's Last Night in Town. And it's like big band, because think, this was made in the mid 90s, I think around 95. What was going on? You had Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, all that kind of stuff, the big drums and the horns, and that's what that one has. So Steve's Last Night in Town's a real rocker there, so fun stuff. Again, I was happy to see they reissued this because I used to have this on CD and I really liked it a lot. That's what we got for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, well, you shut it off a long time ago, so you're not here even listening to it. So for those of you that stick with me, thank you, man. Cheers a lot. I appreciate you. I'll have something else going on later in the week, probably. So thanks for dropping by. Have a wonderful week. Bye.